want me over here then?
Yep.
Okay. And he's good where he is?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So let's start with your name
Okay.
again and state it and spell it, please.
Okay, my name's Paul Bloese, B-L-O-E-S-E, and I'm the Tree Improvement Supervisor for the Forestry Department at Michigan State.
Okay. And where are we today?
This is the Albion Rosedale Seed Orchard Research Facility, and it's basically a property about 6 miles south of the town of Albion. And we've used this, originally it was designed just for seed orchard research, or intended for seed orchard research, but over the years we put other materials down here, other types of tests as well.
And what are we looking at? What are you standing in front of?
Well, the plantation in back of me is a clonal yield trial of hybrid poplar, and we're looking at hybrid poplar for potential as a woody fuel for short rotation energy plantations, and it can be either burned or converted to ethanol.
Mm-hmm. And so is it just poplar that you're looking at here in this particular?
Well, the plantation in back of me is just poplar. Just a little bit north of here, we have a willow trial too, and that's basically the same thing. There's about, I'd say about 12 clones of willow in there, and we're checking to see how well they produce biomass over time on short rotations for fuel.
How old are these trees approximately?
These went in 2011, so this is their closing in on the end of their third growing season.
Okay. And they're utilized because they're so fast growing?
They're very fast growing, yeah.
And so we also have some plantations just newly put in on campus, right? That
Right.
are somewhat similar to?
They're similar. The one that we just put in campus, the 10-acre plot that we just put in, that's designed as more of a demonstration planting. There are 5 clones in that plantation, but its primary purpose is to sort of scale up and give a near operational size idea, a production idea of how to grow the material. This is strictly a clonal trial in back of me now.
Okay. And what do you hope to achieve eventually?
Well, the main purpose of this is to grow these trees in these clones in large plots and pick the winners and losers. So this test is just one of several tests that's also planted up in the UP. There's about 3 or 4 of them up there. And you need to plant these trees on many different sites because the same clones do not necessarily do well across all the sites. So basically, we analyze the data, we'll harvest this material probably in another 5 years, weigh it, and pick the winners and losers from that.
Okay, so it's definitely a long-term project.
Oh, it's very long-term. And actually, as far as trees go, for a forester, this is very short-term. 8 to 10 years is like an instant forestry, but usually it's 20, 30 years.
And why should a citizen living here in Michigan, why should they be interested in a project like this?
Well, the main purpose of this project is to try to increase the amount of renewable fuels that are available in the state. And the overall objective of this project and the one down at campus is to try to increase the availability and utility of woody fuels in Michigan. So the more you can grow poplar and use that for fuel, the less coal you'll need.
So these are strictly Michigan State University projects? Or?
Yes, we get some funding from the federal government, but basically because all the test plantations are in Michigan, the results that we get are basically mostly just to Michigan. You can extrapolate the results to a certain extent, but you kind of get in trouble if you take that too far.
And how many acres here?
This is 10 acres of poplar, and there's about 1.5 acres of willow.
Okay. And talk maybe a little bit about this facility and what it enables a researcher to be able to do.
Okay, this is basically a sort of a satellite station. Greg Kovaliski and his crew at Kellogg, they do most of the work here. When I need help, I come down and help them, but they supply a lot of labor and help and do a lot of maintenance work. And basically, this is just one in a sort of a network of properties across the state that allow us, like I said, to actually put our tests in on a variety of sites in a variety of climates and still have crews in the area to kind of take care of them. There's no substitute for having a a site with a crew that's sort of dedicated to taking care of it. We've been doing forage genetics research at MSU since the late 50s, and by far we've gotten the most and our best data from sites that were manned. We've planted a lot of material on DNR sites and places where you visit them maybe once every 2 or 3 years. And by and large, those sites do not produce the kind of data that you get from places like here in Kellogg Forest and the Forest Biomass Innovation Center up in Escanaba.
Perfect. Anything else that we should know about this particular project or the
Um,
facility?
I can't really think of anything offhand.
What do they do once they get their end results? Then what's the next step?
Well, the next step from this trial would be to take the results we get from this and start ramping up production of clones. So if we pick 3 or 4 clones that we feel are good across sites or maybe just down in the Lower Peninsula or in the UP, you start ramping those up for production. And then you can have that material ready to plant on a wide scale for commercial plantings.
Good. Anything else?
You might have answered it, but how important is it for Michigan State to have all this property where you can do the testing and all the research so that growers and everybody else that they don't have the property or they don't want to put their property to this? How important is that for Michigan State to have it so that they can do this?
Well, we couldn't do the work without the property. I mean, the land base is the absolute foundation of everything we do. If we don't have these properties and we don't have the crews to take care of the material on them, then the research is pretty much just at a loss. You really can't do it without the properties.
Perfect. Sounds good.